Hi, this is Julie from Skunk TV and the Highway Magazine at the 13th Annual Emerald Cup. And I'm here with Jonathan Baldwin from Forever Flowering Greenhouses. Jonathan, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Talking with us. We're so excited. We recently, like I said, have launched the Highway Magazine. It's now available in doors across Cali, AM, PM, 7-Elevens, dispensaries. We've partnered with great companies that are showing evidence of a renaissance, and Jonathan's going to be writing every single issue, offering his incredible wisdom. Obviously, in 2006, you launched Forever Flowering Greenhouses.
That's right.
And that's your baby and your innovation. And then now, recently this year, you started the Cannabis Conservancy. So tell us first, before we get into your new work, tell us what got you into tinkering with greenhouses and developing these systems.
Absolutely. Well, my background is in permaculture and sustainable agriculture, sustainable land designs. And at the time I was living in Mendocino and I was homesteading a piece of property. And myself and most of my friends were living that lifestyle of eating organic and wearing hemp and driving biodiesel and growing organically. Yet most people had 100 lights burning in their barn, and so I really didn't see that the loop was being closed. And so I really tried to see a way forward where we could have a continuous harvest, a continuous paycheck, yet not have that impact that growing indoors has, and the high level of energy consumption that that goes along with indoor cultivation.
Yeah, you wanted to help people come out of the closet, so to speak, and know that they could release an old system because there was a new system or something that was more conscientious and would help them, like you said, close the gap so that there's a full integration in what we feel and think and want with what we do.
No, absolutely. No, absolutely. Just really closing that loop, as you say. And the whole idea was, how do we create a system that has the quality and the control of growing indoors, but has the efficiency and the quantity that you get from growing outside under the sun?
Yeah, because that's the way that you can actually convince people to the other side, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Is showing them results.
Exactly.
It's one thing to talk about ideals, but you got to show people the results.
No, and absolutely. And depending on who we're talking to, because you could say the same thing in a different language, like in today's cannabis industry world, there's a lot of investors coming into the market and they want to know about their bottom line and they want to know about return on investment. And so the nice thing about growing sustainably is, by growing sustainably, you create efficient systems. Efficient systems mean that you have a lower overhead, so your margins actually increase. So if you talk about that idea to an investor, they just hear the fact that your margins are increasing, your return on investment is shorter. But at the end of the day, I like seeing the fact that we're actually having lower impact on the environment, smaller carbon footprint. We're supporting our local communities and really keeping the consciousness in it.
Absolutely. It reminds me of Buckminster Fuller. He would talk about how you don't try and tear down an existing system. You build a system within the existing system to make it obsolete, the old system. No,
absolutely.
And that's what your work reminds me of, and it's why I'm really excited to have you speaking in every issue of The Highway. Because it is about seeding that understanding or that change, and that's why we named this, the Green Renaissance. Because it is about seeding new techniques and showing, you can get success in business and do it sustainably.
Absolutely.
We'll show you the way to have sacred wealth where you don't have to profit while somebody else or some system or some waterway or some, it has to be denigrated, or poisoned, right? This is what you're
absolutely.
showing.
And the nice thing, I believe one of the great things we have on our side, if you will, of this whole mission is that the sustainability side is usually really fun. The people are really amazing. And so the masses want to always go where things are really fun. And so if we could just show, how much fun we're having over here being sustainable, being conscious about what we're doing, about our impact, people are going to want to come that way. And really, at the end of the day, the consumer really has to know that they hold all the power in this game, because where they choose to spend their money is where this market-driven industry is going to go, because as anybody in the business reality knows, if nobody's going to buy it, nobody's going to produce it.
100%.
Right? So that's the most important thing at the end of the day, is to, as a consumer, when you're in your dispensary, ask for certified products, sustainably grown products, tested products, and spend your money that way, and that'll really drive the market in that direction.
Absolutely. You're raising the level of taste. When you get this wisdom out here, which is why we're partnered with you, you help people have greater level of taste, be able to make choices that are really informed. And like you said, yes, if we show them evidence that you can be successful, you can live vibrantly, you can have a meaningful livelihood that doesn't make you feel run down and afraid and worn out, but you actually say, hey, how can we bring and infuse holistic understandings back into our lives, live better lives, and show you evidence that it's possible.
Absolutely.
Yes, that
absolutely.
You can grow outdoor.
No, absolutely.
That you can. So that segues beautifully into Cannabis Conservancy and the work that you're doing there with helping people to become different in consumers. Because consumerism is the power that we have, right, to affect change. So you're helping on the dispensary level to say, how can we help people have a completely improved experience? So tell me a little bit more about your passion there and what you're going to be focusing on in the year ahead.
Absolutely. And again, like I was saying, it all comes back to educating the consumer. Because most consumers don't even know that they don't even know that they don't even know, right? So you walk into a dispensary, you have no idea what even questions to ask, because you don't know that possibly these flowers have been sprayed with myclobutanol, or Equal 20, or that they were grown in a manner that clear-cut an area, or the people weren't really responsible for their impact on the environment and their drainage into creeks and stuff like this. So one of the things I'm most excited about the Cannabis Conservancy is our QR code program called MyGrow. And what that is certified farmers get the ability to tell their story within this unique QR code that they get. They can tell their company values, their cultivation practices, everything about their product, so that when a consumer is in a dispensary, they can scan this QR code. Now they have an immediate relationship with the farmer, and they can make an educated choice as to what they want to consume and who they want to support, right? Because it's really all about being able to recognize and then reward the farmers for doing what they've done, what they do. Because one of the saddest moments for a craft cannabis farmer is when they take this bag of love that they've got 2-3 months of their energy into, and then they hand it off to somebody that sticks it in a duffel bag, and all of a sudden that entire story of everything that it took to produce that is homogenized with everything else. And so it doesn't matter to the consumer. They don't even know that maybe this one was grown in a very inefficient way with chemical nutrients, lights, or whatever, when this other one was grown with singing to the plants and hand trimmed, and there was this communal trim party or whatever it might be. So it's really just about telling that story and really conveying that.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to touch on with you. The symbiotic relationship that we all have with each other and with the earth. When we bring that meaningfulness back to commerce, we heal this kind of valueless kind of quality that's in our current throwaway society, right? Where you just shove it, as you said, in a duffel bag and that story's lost. We have to bring back the sacredness and know how it was grown, ask the questions, know the stories, and then it actually makes it so much more meaningful to consume as well. It brings us great joy and health when we really can savor the beauty of something properly. Right. Because it hurts us too. Right. When we have lost our sense of value. Right.
Yes. No. Absolutely.
And that's why a lot of people suffer. They feel listless, bored,
unseen, because
gray. Mundane.
No, absolutely.
When we should never feel that way, because it's a miracle that we're fucking walking, right?
Right, absolutely.
It's a miracle that we're breathing and even able to do these things. And yet somehow, because we're not allowed to retain that deep respect and time to pause and hear each other's stories
Right.
and bring that meaningfulness back
Right.
to the fold, that's what we're doing. That's why we're excited
Absolutely.
that it's ongoing dialogue now where we can share those kinds of stories.
It's so important right now because, you know, again, it comes back to this education, you know, and the ability to really get that message out. But going back to what you're saying, you know, one of the things I've always loved about growing cannabis is the idea of you're basically farming crystals. You're growing crystals, and these crystals you can totally implant with this energy, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you could totally implant this energy that you want to spread around because.
Look into the camera.
Yeah,
Jonathan.
sorry. Yes.
He's dazzling me with his eyes and his flower like that.
Yeah,
Yes,
you know.
exactly it.
So,
Yes.
so it's this opportunity to really spread this understanding and these values around where we want, and if we take this moment to really put that energy and that
Yes.
focus and concentration into what you're cultivating, and remember that you are impacting people on a spiritual level, on a medical level,
Yes, with every
a
choice.
societal level, everything.
Every word,
you know?
every
Yeah,
thought.
absolutely.
We can bring wisdom back, or we can take and let fear continue to rule.
Right.
Unworthiness continue to rule, right? This disease of a valueless society.
Yeah.
We could change all
Yeah,
that.
no, we absolutely
We
have
don't
the
need any of
possibilities.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're going to bring your greenhouses up to Canada.
Sounds great.
Canadians,
We love it.
our fellow friend Canadians for Highway Canada.
Yeah,
Jonathan just did an article on winter greenhouses.
Yeah, you can absolutely cultivate year round
getting out
up
of the
there.
grow, the indoor closet, and coming out into the greenhouse and coming up with even cleaner medicine, more beautiful medicine, and more efficient.
Absolutely.
Bottom line.
And again, you know, getting back into the energetics of the plant, we're looking at something that's a photosynthesizing plant, right? And if you're not giving it its full spectrum of light, then it's not going to be able to realize its potential.
The sun is the kind of ruler.
Exactly.
Right? We rotate around the sun, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So we gotta infuse the sun in some way, right, into our process.
Yes, and I've seen studies where people are finding certain cannabinoids either not present or less present in exactly the similar cultivation styles, but one lamp grown and one sun grown. So
and off the newts and into living soils.
Yeah. Regenerative farming, sustainably farming, absolutely.
Worm casting.
Yes.
Yeah, all of it. Yay. Thank you so much. Yay, I'm so happy. So thank you, Jonathan Valden, for coming.
Yeah.
Look out for his articles in the Highway. Thank you, Emerald Cup, Tim Blake, for having this space, creating this space for us all to be here and have these conversations. Taylor Blake, the whole crew, Soil King, Hazel, all our friends over at 916 Hollywood Initiative. Thank you so much for coming out. Our friends Tony at Wax Tracks TV, all the companies that are in that incubator. We're so excited to be working with you guys in the year ahead. So thank you.
Thanks for having me out.
Happy Emerald Cup.
You too. Yay. Nice, thank you.